This episode will be about the concept of inside-outside control, what you can do to help your squad take and maintain control of an area, and how your squad can play in combinations with other squads to control a larger piece of the map.
This is my time, this is my moment. You better bet that I'm on it. Ready and set, I'ma own it. Blasted to 10.
Let's go, guys, let's go.
Take a close look at this clip and see if you can spot what I am doing differently from the rest of my squad. So I am the last one alive, but what was it I did differently? If you look at the direction of travel, you will see that the 3 squad mates in this frame are all moving straight towards the enemies, but I am moving to my right. Even when I'm shooting and I'm transitioning between targets, I am sidestepping to my right. So what's the reason for this? Well, in episode 5 I am talking about focus points, and this has to do with that. So if you have not seen that yet, I suggest you do. When my squad gets out of the heli, the enemies can see and hear the heli, and the area around it will become their focus point. Basically the area which they expect us to be within. So when the enemies peek over the hill, they will be watching towards that area first. And if I can get outside of that area, my chances to spot the enemies first in a 1v1 increases a lot. So when I spot enemies from within their focus point, they're already aiming towards me. But when I run into enemies from outside their focus point, they are looking in a different direction and I should get an easy kill. So this whole situation ended with me getting my squad lead back up, and he got up a hab, but then shortly after we got overrun by a lot of enemies. I didn't understand where they all came from, but looking back I missed that they had placed a radio, so they probably got a mass spawn on a hab somewhere close by. The simple way to explain the concept of inside and outside control on a squad level is like this. Imagine your squad is moving towards enemy controlled territory when someone calls out 2 enemies spotted, but you always have to expect more enemies in the area than you can see. The first thing your squad should do is to put the enemy inside your box, aka the inside area. Look at the blue lines. They show the area between the players at the ends of your squad's formation, and within these lines are the box. Your squad calls out 2 more enemies and they are outside of the box, so now you have to adjust your line to put them back in. One of the main reasons to why this is so important is because in a squad versus squad fight, you win by taking down the enemy spawn. And by keeping the enemies inside of the box, you create openings on the outside of the box for players to move directly towards the enemy spawn and take them out. When 2 squads meet and start to fight, they create the first lane and the inside area. What you want your squad to do ASAP is to take care of your squad's protection. You have to get players out of the inside and into the first lanes on the outside. In this case, it's lane 2 and 3. The main task of these players is to protect your squad from enemies trying to flank, but they can and they should also assist in the inside fight by killing enemies from the outside and stopping or slowing down enemies coming back from respawn. This helps your inside players to get the numbers advantage and to move up, but the focus has to be on protecting the inside players from flankers. 9 out of 10 times enemies will eventually break out of the inside to flank. It's just a matter of time. Think about this if you're playing the inside. Slow it down, don't rush straight into awaiting enemies and get killed. 2. Keep the enemy focused on you, this will help the outside players. 3. Focus on staying alive. As long as the enemies know we have players alive who can be holding angles, they are less likely to push. If all inside players die, you risk losing your spawn to the enemy. So if you're playing inside, you should be holding and let the enemies come running into your site more than you are moving up towards the enemy. So here you will see a real example of me using the inside-outside control concept when playing to make my decisions of what I'm going to do.
Come up the road.
So my squad is down here and the enemy is up there, and this is the area for this little skirmish. Within this area we have this block of buildings within the blue circle that will be key to get an upper hand in the map control of this fight. If the enemy takes control of that position, they can cover these red marked open areas, making it very difficult for my squad to move anywhere. We could try to go around the east side, but if the enemies are not already covering that, they could adjust very quickly, leaving my squad to be stuck in a really bad position. So we need to act quickly before we get stuck, flanked and wiped.
Under the Vic.
How far was
I'm
that?
not-
I'll sort it out.
It was about 75 meters down the road. I think he might have turned to the west.
West?
Yeah, drove west.
He's west. Hot rally up. Let me just re-arm real quick. Push them
We're being
up.
engaged from northwest.
Wait, we got flank.
Yeah, they're on the north. About 100 meters.
Yeah, there's a enemy lodging there.
Helicopter hovering
Push
west.
up.
Good shot
Push
on
up.
enemy
Push
infantry.
up.
Whoa. Enemy infantry close north.
Guys, push up. Keep gaining ground for as long as you can.
Enemy marks
Minus
50 meters, second floor north.
Never mind. One on missile on ping.
So I have just made it out to the outside lane over here, and I can hear enemies shoot to my close northeast. I'm considering taking defensive positions to prevent enemies from crossing this blue line. This will make it easier for my squad to leave our little corner and to reinforce this key position of this skirmish. My second option is to continue around on the outside lane, making my way to take down the enemy spawn as soon as possible. And I just have to hope that someone else from my squad will move up and take control of this area. In this situation, we don't have much time, so I'm leaning towards option number 2.
50 meters, second floor north.
Never mind. One on missile on ping.
1-4. Seen. Shelled. Kill him. Amazing. He showed me through a solid wall.
I just want you to note how this enemy is focusing completely towards the inside lane, making it very easy for me to take him out from the outside lane.
Through a solid wall.
Logic mark was accurate or not? Venom.
No, Monkey Mark's next to the road.
Yeah, it's north.
Good call. I got him down.
Thank you.
-1 west.
Engine down
Radio
the
copy.
MF.
So it took me about 2 minutes 20 seconds to get around to take down the enemy rally and finding their enemy radio. But we were lucky this time that the enemies did not push out to the outside lanes to work our flanks, because if you look on the map you see that our squad is very centralized around our rally and are very vulnerable towards the east flank. And this is how fast the enemies could have outpositioned us. Remember, they were on the ground a few seconds before we were. But in 12 seconds they can aim down the road, probably killing 1 or 2 of us as we're moving north from the lodge. Within 40 seconds they could have prevented us from moving east. In approximate 1 minute they could have flanked us to be in a position to take down our rally. But that's only from the east side. If 1 or 2 enemies would have moved out on the west side, it would take them about 27 seconds to get to a position where they can stop us from pushing out north. And within about 40 seconds they can stop us from moving out west. So the enemy could have put us in this box within the first 40 to 45 seconds after we left our lodgy, and from this position we would most likely lose this fight. So the final thing to add to this inside-outside control concept is this. After you get players out towards your protection lanes, you need at least one guy further out towards your no combat lane. The players in these lanes are so far away that there is minimum risk that they run into an enemies, and their only objective is to find the enemy radio or spawn and take them down. So here is a real game example. I am sitting here watching out for enemy flankers when I spot a enemy squad coming in, so I call them out to my squad and I mark them on the map. After that, I will take on the role as the flanker, getting out to the no combat lane as soon as possible to find my way around to take down their spawn or radio.
I'll hop in with you, Flux.
I need the ammo. After that I can use it.
So I found their truck and I'm expecting the rally to be close to it. That's why you should never leave your vehicle close to your radio or rally.
Watch out, I'm in the middle on move mine.
I'm hearing a G3 going off north, Charles.
I will now show you a quick example of how inside-outside control can be used on a team level. And from that perspective, it's all about controlling a combination of areas, each backed with its own spawn so your team quickly can outmaneuver any attacking enemies, and to ensure that the different squads in your team maintains the ability to support other squads. So now we will take a look on the red team's initial fob placement and analyze how this combination can impact their control of the map. For simplicity's sake, let's start by saying that the blue team has control over the west town and the red team the east, and both are trying to establish control over the center in the start of the game. And these are the initial fob placements for the red team. Now don't look at these fobs as a place to defend from. You can and you should have a few guys on your fob to protect them, but they should be used more like a medieval castle, a centralized position from which you can send out patrols to control a larger territory. So this is probably the front line the red team is trying to form. It's a very strong position that uses the rivers and open fields as a force multiplier for defenders, meaning that they should be able to defend against a larger number of enemies without losing the advantage and control. Before I move on, I will let you know the two most common ways a fob is lost. The first one is that a small force flanks an undefended fob and just digs down the radio. The second one is that the fob gets surrounded and the defenders can't push out without dying, and eventually the hab gets proxied, and after that it usually don't take long before the fob is lost. So with that in mind, if the blue team managed to break through and establish a fob in the center town, the problem is that there is no safe place to put it. The blue fob will always be threatened from multiple directions, and the red team already know where it is, because they're playing using map control. If the red team would defend from inside the cap only or from the fobs only, the blue team do have a chance to get a fob up undetected and have time to push out to take control of the surrounding areas, making it more difficult for the red team to attack it. But that's not the case here. Wherever the blue team is trying to attack from, someone from the red team will see them coming and the red team can organize a counter move. This way of playing inside-outside control as a team may feel very different from the squad way of doing it. But if you look at it like this, you can see the similarity. The inside area is the area between the two spawns, and you control this area by using the spawns and working the outside area to outplay whatever it is that your enemy is doing. You may temporarily lose control of the inside, but it's very difficult for the enemy to maintain inside control when you can push them hard from multiple spawns and directions. And as long as you maintain inside control, it's close to impossible for the enemies to completely surround one of the spawns and slowly move in to proxy the hab. You can always use the other spawn to push back on the enemy's flanks, and this will create a gap in the encirclement of that fob.